Thanks to EA for the game code. Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. It's time for a modern mansion. It's been a while and you know how much I love modern mansions. I've created so many, so it was just time to create another one after all the more rustic, dreamy ones. And I built this one in Windenburg because I had so much fun building in Windenburg. I generally try to switch between lots more because you know how much I love to build in Del Sol Valley, and I had the best time building this. It's very modern both on the exterior and interior, so if you are into dreamy cozy builds, this one might not be for you, but if you are into modern builds, then you might like this one. And I started off by working on the driveway, so this is where you enter the lot, or your Sims do. And I've used some round rocks again to have a guideline, and these little pillars that you can see here are from Debug and they are part of the base game. I love to use this item. I've used it in so many mansions, also in some base game mansions, and I've simply placed the rock to have a guideline, and I followed the shape of the rock, and I've just freely rotated all the pillars, and I was trying to work out a nice shape, and I've then used so many platforms. Placing all these platforms can be so tedious. I hate this, like when I make them one step taller to create some stairs, but yeah, so this way I was able to create the stairs, and you can see on the left side that I've placed a room at the bottom, and I like to do this whenever I create some type of walkout basement situation. And here at this point I wasn't even sure where to place the room at the bottom, so I just placed it wherever so I could build a floor on top and create the rest of the build. So I'm building the rest of the build on top of this level here, and then I just have the room at the bottom which I can expand or move somewhere else. You cannot do it the other way around, because when you simply start to build on the ground, you cannot build a level below. You could build a basement, but then you would always have the basement's walls on all sides, and I want to manipulate the terrain and I want to have a nice walkout basement situation, so that's what I did here. And I have built a curved wall on the left side because I knew that I would like to include a curved pool, and I also knew that I wanted to build like a border at the top. You know how much I love to use the cube from the Desert Lux kit or the little cube from Get Famous, and I just always love to use it. Like, I've spoken about this so many times. Back then I've always used these items to create curved pools. Now we got the curved pools and I still haven't stopped using them. Not only am I so used to using these objects, but I think it looks so cool. It just adds so much to a build. It's always about the little details, and I love to have these little cubes, or for example a shelf which can be used as a custom trim on a wall. I just love to do these little things. And also I kind of just got so used to building a curved room first and then placing my pool on the inside. You don't even really have to do this, but since they came out, I just got used to do it this way. I feel like we builders have our little ways of doing things, and some stuff might seem impractical. I feel like we all have our little ways, and whenever I'm watching someone else build, I always love to discover their little ways, and I just love this. Also, I'm so sorry if I sound a little less energetic or something. I've been under the weather a little and I don't feel very energetic right now, but I just had so much fun building this, and this is kind of what I did during the last days. And I think there's a difference of just leaning back and building and doing your thing, or talking and sounding energetic, and I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I'm hopefully back to normal in the next video, and I'm just so excited to work on the next thing. And of course, I hope that you will enjoy this, in case you should grab this from the gallery, because as always, this will be in the gallery, of course. And yeah, here I'm like slowly working on the shape of the build. And once again, I've been using some trees and bushes from Debug. The palm tree and I think all the other trees actually are from Growing Together. I love Growing Together so much, and especially Debug and Live Edit are so amazing. These little palm trees are, I think, from either For Rent or Lovestruck, but I think For Rent. I sometimes get confused because we got so many amazing items in Debug and Live Edit, and this amazing pillar is from Lovestruck. And I remember that I had such a hard time using this pillar when I was like building the first builds, like when I got early access. I thought, okay, how am I going to use this? Because like I've talked about this before, I was kind of thinking rustic, and these pillars are so modern and they are amazing, and I love the swatches. And you know that a lot of my builds are kind of more neutral leaning when it comes to the color palette, but yeah, I just have to admit, I love the dark swatch, the black swatch, the white swatch, but there are some really cool colorful swatches as well. And I was trying to figure out where to place the walkout basement, which is actually like not really a walkout basement. I mean, your Sims will be able to access this area from the back, but in the front, I've just smoothed out the terrain so it looks nice and lovely. I'm going to landscape a bit. The landscaping is very minimalistic. I generally wanted to put a focus on the shape of the build, and I've used so many palm trees everywhere, but that's it. And I have to say it was kind of weird to go back to building something modern. I've gotten so used to these hyper detailed dreamy builds, and I have to say these days I might prefer working on these more dreamy builds. I feel like for the longest time modern was my favorite style in this game, like when I was working on builds, and I enjoyed this style the most. But I feel like right now, like currently, I'm leaning towards working on more dreamy builds, but this is also so much fun. After all, it's also about the mix, like trying different styles and going back and forth between different styles, so you are not always working on the same thing. It's just kind of more inspiring to try different things, of course, but this is kind of like a really typical KateEmerald build. Like when you look at the channel in the beginning, a lot of my builds were quite modern, and I feel like for the longest time this was kind of the KateEmerald build probably, but things have changed, and building like the other packs which came out like also kind of changed building. We got so many cool items, and it's always fun to kind of like evolve and try different things. Let me know what is your favorite style like to build. Like when you are building, what do you love the most? Do you have a favorite style? Which style do you like enjoy the most? And is there something that is kind of challenging for you, like a style that you would like to master but you are struggling? For me, I love these like really tiny cozy homes. You know, I have a problem building small, and I really admire these like cute cozy builds. They're so beautiful. Penthouses are also difficult. I know a penthouse is not like a architectural style, and I know I was asking about styles, but I just think penthouses are so hard. I'm always struggling. And also like community lots. I feel like when I'm working on a community lot, it looks like a mansion, and sometimes I'm working on a mansion and it looks like a community lot, and then I'm like confused. Maybe when this happens, I should just go, okay, this is a community lot now. And I think this might be the case here. I think this is like so over the top. This could also be like some type of modern community lot. I don't know. I've built another curved room. As you can see, I've used these small windows, so I have raised the platform a lot to create the stairs in the front. So of course I like kind of had to squeeze in the windows somewhere, and this is a excellent way to like have some natural light in these rooms. It's like a window for a basement, but like it still fits, and this was kind of the solution for this. As you will see, the bedrooms will be at the bottom. The only exception is one room at the very top in the tower, so this has a very interesting layout. And I've used more and more of these Desert Lux cubes, so I just wanted to have the same border which I had created for the pool going around the whole build. And I feel like having a flat roof kind of totally makes sense for a modern build, but at the same time it sometimes bores me. I just want to have a really interesting looking roof area, and sometimes this can be so difficult. So I was really struggling to make it look interesting, so I was just using the good old Desert Lux cube. I never thought that any cube could replace the cube from Get Famous. To those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, in Get Famous, there's a small cube. It's like a side table. You can just place it, and you could like place a vase on top or a lamp, for example. And I love to use it for like doing what I'm doing here. And then the Desert Lux kit came out, and it kind of replaced the cube. And I don't know, they're like very similar, but at the same time we got some cool like amazing swatches for this cube here, more like options which look like very beige, brown, natural, like lots of earthy colors. So I feel like that's also very cool. I've then just built a basketball court. Below there will be a gym, so the Sims can just work out, and I felt like it makes sense to have the gym right below the basketball court. I mean, I had to fill the space either way. This is like one of those builds where everything is kind of all over the place at first, and then it's like starts to make sense. And I thought, okay, I have this random room at the bottom. This will be a home gym. So this is a very spacious home gym. There will be a hot tub, so your Sims have all the luxury they need. I wanted to build a platform on the outside, so it's kind of like a patio, and the Sims can walk around the building, as you can here see. And I've then decided to have some windows on the curved room. So in the beginning, when I was working on the walkout basement section, I was using a square room, just a regular room, and I then wanted to incorporate more round shapes. There's kind of an overhang at the top, and this room is square, and I just wanted to have another shape below so it looks more interesting. And also at this point, I had already created the round pool and multiple round shapes, and I just wanted to have another round shape there so it looks balanced. And here's the interior, and I'm just placing some stairs. So the room at the front, as you can here see, they are just stairs, and you can go up to this room. Then we have this main level, and then at the bottom there will be bedrooms, as I've said. I've used the Island Living glass floor to create some glass roofs, and just saying this, Island Living glass floor just brings back so many memories. It was so iconic when Island Living came out, and I was using these glass floors all the time. So I was always like, okay, I'm using the Island Living glass floors, and I just kind of remembered them. Like when I was building this, I was like, okay, the roof is boring and bland. I was talking about this earlier in this video when I was like adding the cubes on the roof, and I thought, okay, Island Living glass floors, I kind of forgot about them. I've said this in my last video, there are like so many items in this game now, and sometimes you just forget. And yeah, so I just added them. So there's more natural light, it's very sun flooded. You will see this when I'm furnishing the area. There will be a glass roof right above the living room, and it's so cool. I love this. Also, a word of advice for you in case you own both Snowy Escape and Island Living. The windows from Snowy Escape, the square ones, the modern ones, their dimensions perfectly match the dimensions of the Island Living glass floor, so you can combine them, which looks very cool. And here I'm placing an object from Get Together. I just wanted to create a path like this, and I'm going to remove a lot of them, as you can here see, and I just left them at the bottom because it was just too much. I initially loved the look, but then I didn't, so I just got rid of them. I've placed some palm trees from Lost Truck. These plants, these palm trees are so beautiful, and I just placed more windows. This is going to be the living room. I wanted to have so many windows, and it was such a struggle to like place them in the right area to make it look balanced, and to then later on add all the curtains. Curtains are so difficult in this game. Like, I have such a hard time finding the perfect curtains. I also feel like I'm mostly using the same ones. I mean, I'm usually building luxurious mansions, and I feel like this is why I'm like rarely using some of the rustic options, but I don't know, I think there should be more curtain options. I would love this. I would even like appreciate just a curtain pack. I don't know, I just need more curtains. I've used some vines from Cottage Living to make everything a bit more overgrown and natural. The whole build looks extremely minimalistic and, I don't know, it just looks very modern. As I said, it kind of gives some community lot vibes, and I just wanted to make it look a little bit more natural. So I've added the vines, I've then added some terrain paint. I left the front very empty, so it has this very sleek, simple design. So I just added these little details to make it look a bit more nicer. And here I'm adding the base game hedge. I've sized it up just to hide the edges. Everything was kind of on a different level here. I've created so many different levels. I've used the platforms excessively, and I just wanted to hide some of the edges in some areas, and the hedge just really helped connecting everything. And here is the interior finally. So I'm super proud of this living room. This is the amazing sun-flooded room in the back on the right side, and you can see that the added living glass floors are above. You can see, like, by the way the light is coming in. And here I'm using the Desert Lux cube. This is the same cube that I had used on the outside to create all these little borders and the roof decoration. I've used it in a different swatch here, and I've sized it down, and I've rotated it freely to like match the shape of the sofa. The sofa is from Dream Home Decorator, and I've used this beautiful blue swatch. I would usually go for white probably, because I love the white swatch for the sofa in combination with this beautiful brown wooden tone, but here in this case I just wanted to do something different, and the whole interior on this level is like pretty dark, so it matches the exterior and it has a very modern, sophisticated vibe, but I feel like it's much more dark than the outside, because I don't know, I feel like it's like very bright and happy on the outside, and here it's like a bit different. I've decided to like have a nice contrast between the dark windows and the wallpaper, and I'm going to change the floor actually, because you can see how I've decided to use these curtains, and at the top there's like this wooden color, and I just wanted to match it. I think it looks much more warm and inviting this way, and it still has like this very dark vibe, and I was going for a more industrial design here at this point. You can see the lamp in the center, then this standing lamp right next to the piano, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to be a bit creative with all the wall lamps. So here you can see how I'm using a wall lamp from Love Struck. I'm just really placing it so it aligns nicely, and I've then also used some wall lamps from Spa Day. I've placed it right behind the big base game painting, and I then just filled this very open gigantic space, and I've used this little table from Dine Out, and you can like combine it like this, and I think this is like such a amazing item for mansions. When you are furnishing mansions, this item is so helpful, because you can create this gigantic tables and areas where you just place some decorations or something. Right behind it, I've decided to have the dining area, and right next to it, I've placed a bar. The bar is from Lost Truck. We got a round bar in Journey to Batu, and we finally got another one. This round bar is beautiful. I'm so happy that we got two options now, and the one from Journey to Batu is just as beautiful. I know it's a kind of controversial pack, but Built by Journey to Batu is wonderful. It's amazing. It's perfect for a really modern interior. You can create some industrial interiors, and this bar is just as amazing. So in case you haven't checked out Journey to Batu yet, I can totally recommend doing so. And yeah, here I'm building the kitchen. I was going for a black counter and black cabinets to match the dark vibe, and also because of the windows. So here I was really going for this very dark, beautiful vibe, and I just wanted to have an open kitchen. Recently, on some occasions, I was building like closed off kitchens, but here once again, we have a wonderful open floor plan, and it was quite difficult to find the perfect spot for the kitchen, because this build is quite spacious, but at the same time I had used so much space for the beautiful living room area and the dining room area, and then I was like, okay, where's the kitchen? Usually the kitchen is one of the biggest areas in my builds. I mean, not always, but I really like to build a big kitchen, you know this. So here I was really trying to just squeeze it in this area. This is a bathroom, or the bathroom, because there are like multiple bathrooms of course, but the other bathrooms are all part of bedrooms, so they are en suites. And here this is kind of like the the community bathroom. This sounds super weird, but like the bathroom at the top for everyone who's like chilling in the living area, guests and everything. So this is not connected to any personal space like a bedroom. And I wanted to have a walk-in shower. I've used the same windows for the shower, which I had used for the exterior. These windows are from the Greenhouse Haven kit, and I just wanted to have a mix of this very dark vibe and the warm brown tones. So I've used this wooden floor here everywhere. I couldn't do this for the bathroom because it's a bathroom. I was using tiles, so I simply decided to use these curtains everywhere, which are from the base scheme. They have basically the same color. They are identical in color, and they are just perfect to really have this beautiful warm vibe in these rooms. And yeah, this room here is just another living room essentially. Again, so much brown. I feel like this room isn't as dark and gloomy as the other rooms. This isn't like really playing into the like idea of a industrial design. This is like much more cozy and comfy, but I just wanted to have a second living room because it just makes sense for a mansion, I guess. So I just placed like all the decorations in there. A TV. This is kind of like the personal space for the family to like gather and watch TV, and the other living room is the formal living room, and it's just much bigger and more luxurious. This is one of many bedrooms, and this is like really cozy. You can see that there are a lot of soft colors. As I always like to say, I like to have one design direction for the living space, kitchen, everything. And then when it comes to bedrooms, I like try to have individual styles, so it kind of represents the personality of the sim living in there. Of course, I have no idea who's going to move in there because I don't know who's going to grab this from the gallery, which sim family will live here, but I still try to like have different vibes for the bedrooms a lot of the times. So this one here, for example, has like this pastel blue, while the other one was like this pastel pink. I was just randomly like picking some colors. I just like that I have a matching swatch for the curtains, the sofa, and the bed here. Sometimes you just have to like figure out where you have matching swatches, because sometimes it's like really hard. Whenever I was building a Barbie build, I noticed how difficult it is to really match swatches. You know that I really like to build neutral builds when it comes to the color palette. So when I was working on these Barbie builds, I really had to figure out like where is a pink swatch. And then again, there are like so many different types of pinks: hot pink, pastel pink. You have these pinks which are leaning more cool or warm, and then you have to like combine them. And for a lot of my Barbie builds, I was like, okay, I don't care, they're just combining all these different pink colors. So it's like clashing a little bit, but it also made the Barbie builds quite colorful. But sometimes I was wishing for like having the same type of pink for all items, and I know we all dream of a color wheel. And yeah, this is another bedroom. This is kind of a really big kids room. So there are 2 beds in there, and we have this gigantic desk. I've just combined 2 dining tables for this. There are 2 chairs, so it's like kind of like a co-working homework space or something, and it's like really grand and beautiful. And this is another bedroom, just 1 bed, and you can see the pool behind it. And I was just trying to have different vibes and colors for all these rooms, and I love this rug so much. It's so beautiful. Another desk, of course. And I then had so much space left that I thought, okay, I also need an indoor pool, because a proper mansion needs an indoor pool. I mean, it doesn't need an indoor pool, but it's cool to have one. So I just added like this beautiful indoor pool area here. And this one is like square, it's not round. This is probably the first time since the curved pools came out that I like didn't create a curved pool. I'm surprised, but I feel like when you look at the room's shape, it has this curved wall on the right side. It just makes sense to like have this square pool in there. And this here is the section at the very top. This is the tower, and there's just another bathroom, and then we have this bedroom. So this could be just another additional bedroom, or you might want to use it for a butler or something. And I then furnished the gym because it's like such a beautiful, spacious gym area. I just had to fill it somehow house. So I decided to use lots of gym equipment, TVs, a hot tub. Then you have like just a sofa to sit down, a mirror and everything. So this is also very dark and gloomy and super modern. This like has the same vibes as the living room and kitchen. I've placed so many plants. I love when you like create a dark interior like this. You have such a nice contrast whenever you're using some lamps or some wooden tones. I just love the contrast generally like looks so amazing. I just love to do this, like generally working with contrast. And yeah, this is it. Here you can see so many screenshots, so you can really check out this build. This build is available in the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've enjoyed this build. I hope your Sims might enjoy it in case you grab it from the gallery. I hope you are doing so well. I love you all so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye!